Not a word that comes out of my mouth was an original thought, actually. Not a single word. Is that 4 centuries of First Nations people and people who get read and raised as people of color in this country have, through lived experience, through academic work, through grassroots organizing, have developed a vast and profound body of knowledge. Many majority historically white organizations that really want to begin or say they want to begin to talk about whiteness, they're deeply confused about diversity, cultural competency, and equity and social justice. They are 3 separate concepts. They are not a developmental sequence. If you want to do this work, you've got to be in equity and social justice for 3 main reasons. 1, it's the only one of these 3 that does talk about systems and history. Number 2, it's the only one that therefore has really lucid and explicit conversations about access to resources, power, and privilege. And number 3, it's the hopeful one. Where do you put diversity and inclusion as concepts then? It's not a process, but as concepts, where could they fit? And we frame them as outcomes of equity and social justice work. If you want a more racially diverse, a racially inclusive campus, nonprofit, foundation, then you will do equity and social justice work to get to that outcome. Understanding history and systems around race, racism, and whiteness will lead us to these inevitable landing points. Number 1, deep questions about resources. Number 2, deep societal questions. What has happened here? Number 3, going a little deeper, moral questions, profound moral questions. Underneath that, spiritual questions in whatever way you choose to define that. You can define it any way you want. And then the deepest human questions, the kind of existential pieces that just get shredded with the existence of systems of racial oppression. So foundations would be wise to recognize that so much of that philanthropic dollar base did not come from hard work alone. It actually came from extraordinary dynamics of race and class privilege, whiteness and owning classness. And therefore, if I know that, then when I move that money, instead of thinking of it as a grant, maybe I would think of it as a return of something that has been taken. I don't look at my white colleagues and say, we're thieves. I look at my white colleagues and explain the theft this way. We've inherited a system that profoundly violates our deepest beliefs. It also violates who we are as a nation. We have to make some amends here, not out of guilt and shame, but out of a desire to be free. Not out of guilt and shame, but out of a desire to be whole. Not out of guilt and shame, but a desire to set that which is wrong and continues to plague us as a community of people. And it seems like it's not the best use of resources, money, energy, and time of Native people and people of color to have to educate white folks. The best use of that is vision. Vision. What this really means is kick our shoes off as white people as we face whiteness, swim out to the boat, get in the boat, and row alongside Native people and people of color. Make this a relational, lived, lifelong commitment, and row, row, row. Couple caveats though, when you get in the boat, don't name the boat after ourselves. Don't do that. We do that a lot? The answer's no. No. But here's the treat for philanthropy. You also get to be who you say you are. If you really are who you say you are, you have to start doing your business differently. Not out of shame and guilt and blame, but out of a deep, profound, fierce love and commitment to setting this right. So dismantling a system that is this toxic is one of the greatest gifts we can give this country. It has been a wound for far too long, so heal this, heal this. I will not apologize for knowing in my soul that love at the end of this, that is the goal. It is about that unremitting, unapologetic desire for peace in our souls.